in closing, okay, talked about fraudsters, that you need to be an LDA, not a paralegal. You need to be legit. Watch out. Don't fall victim. Do your due diligence. And I made some notes here. People are often surprised to find out that our service even exists, that you don't need an attorney. So people say all the time, oh, I didn't even know any attorney. Someone left me a review on Google today. Orange County case. Got that done, submitted in November, just got approved. They take about 3 months for processing. It's the other thing about the online submissions with LA County. We're getting 2-week approvals at all courthouses in LA County, 2-week approvals. It used to be 3 months in LA County as well. But 3 months, he wrote me a nice review, said, I didn't even know. And he told me that when we first spoke a few months ago, that he didn't even know that services like this exist. So they do. So, but what I mean by do you really need an attorney is if you are amicable, if you and your spouse can sit down at the coffee table, kitchen table, work out your differences, work out the terms of your agreement, maybe not everything. Maybe you just say, hey, we agree to be amicable and figure this out. That's enough. I can work with you. You probably, what we find out people need is just some filling in of the gaps of missing information. How does spouse support work? Child support work? How do we divide up our properties? Questions to me, I don't want to say silly, but oh, we read that community property has to be divided 50-50. What will the court say? The court's not going to interfere. You guys do whatever you want. Let the husband keep all the debts and wife, you have all the assets. Totally fine by the court if you guys notarize that. Things like that. That's usually all people need to know. And we handle this on our consultations. When you call, we go through this. I talk about what you've talked about, where you're at. I'll tell you whether I think we should file or not. Sometimes I tell people, hey, this is hold off. You guys are not quite amicable enough. And sometimes the filing of the petition makes it real. And then you guys go sideways and get attorneys. So I'll tell people to hold off till they've talked a little, talk down off the ledge a little bit, because I want to keep them amicable. I don't want to start them, take their money, and then they have to get an attorney anyways. And I'll tell people in our consultations, they'll say, oh, this, and that. I'm like, I can tell you, I've been doing this a long time. Those are all red flags. It's not going to work. Plus, I don't want someone in my business, that I'm dealing with that's a time suck. That's not nice to say. Not a time suck, but just not the type of service that we provide. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to them. I think that would be the best way to say it. And then, do you really need mediation? We get calls, consultations for, I need a mediator. And so I don't advertise as a mediator. The problem is in Santa Clarita, there are no mediators. There used to be a mediator service. They're closed up shop for the most part, not out of business. They decided to retire. So the only mediators you have left to choose from are attorneys who also are doing mediation. So right back to high cost. And so when people call me for mediation, I definitely want to have that consultation with them. And this happened yesterday. She said, oh, we're looking for a mediator. I said, okay, tell me why you need a mediator. Well, we talked about it and we agree on this, and that. And we just had questions about, do we have to have the child support in there, or can we go a little lower on the spouse support? And, the division of assets and debts isn't quite equal. How can we do that to make it look? They don't need mediation. They hired me this morning because that wasn't mediation. I answered all their questions. No, that you don't need that. That doesn't apply. That's not a problem. But we've had people go to mediators, come to us with what's called a memorandum of understanding. And I would say, oh, how much did you guys spend in mediation? They said, oh, $1,200. I said, what didn't you agree to? He said, oh, we agreed to everything. We thought we had to mediate and someone had to draft this for us. And no, you don't bypass all of that. Mediation to me is sitting in a room or Zoom these days with a neutral third party who's going to help you work through those issues and give solutions and options that maybe you didn't consider. I do that, but I'm not going to spend 20 minutes on the phone with you guys mediating. But in the consultation, I will tell you, these are your options and solutions. When we're going through the process, tell me in plain English what you want. I will put it in the appropriate language. Don't worry about it. Tell me what you want. Don't worry about the rules. I can make it fit. I've never really had to change any language other than to legalese it up. Is that a word? Just so it'd be acceptable to the court is all. And last, how do you keep your divorce amicable? You need to talk to your spouse before you file for divorce. Attorneys won't tell you that. They'll get you in the office on a consultation and they'll have you file. They'll hire the meanest process server and serve your spouse at work or the most inconvenient time, because the more agitated they make your case, I'm not saying this is all attorneys, but they're out there, The more agitated they can make your case, the more in attorney's fees. We are the opposite. We are on the same page as you. We charge a flat fee. We're not an hourly fee. So I want to get it done fast too. The longer I take, the less money I make essentially. But we are on the same page price wise as far as getting your paperwork done. Some take longer, some take less time. But talk to your spouse. Number two, communicate throughout the process. Number three, use a service like ours where we have you guys as a neutral third party all the way from start to finish. So we have one of our initial worksheets to collect your information. When before you hire us says, before you fill this out, please tell your spouse that you're doing this because we don't want any shock and awe. Remember George Bush? We don't want shock and awe. We want uh, everyone on the same page. We don't want them getting a notification in an email. Hey, your divorce has started. It's not what it says, but essentially, I mean, what's this? My case, divorce process thing. So tell your spouse. We will, again, going back, I will tell them, do not file for divorce until you've talked to them. Make sure they're amicable. Tonight I had a 4 o'clock today, I had a consultation, and he said, yeah, we're amicable. We haven't talked in a few days, but they know we're going to get started. So just do me one favor, talk to them one more time before you start. Because the last thing I want to do is take your money and then we can't finalize your case. Again, it's not fair to you. It's not fair to me. It takes a lot of my time. And I'd rather you spend that money on attorney if that's what you need. But I hope this was helpful. We went an hour and a half tonight. I'm going to be going live. I'm going to shoot for 5 days a week. So this was a little bit different format. This was me ranting about online divorce services and fraudulent paralegal services and all that good stuff. But I want to build a community where I'm at 5 o'clock every day. It might not be every day, but you'll see it on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, where it'll say if I'm going live or not. We are answering questions live. So if you need help with your paperwork, if you need help with a form, your judgment was rejected, what you don't understand what it says. I can't go through your entire divorce. I have gone through an entire judgment reject sheet before. That took a solid hour and a half. You can find that on our live videos on our website. But answering questions, everything we just talked about. If you have a sticking point, it's procedural in nature, not trial related, and we're not giving legal advice. This is navigating the court process. What forms need to be completed? Why did this get rejected? And I want to do this for an hour and a half until all the questions are answered every day, 5 o'clock. So I tried this at 3 o'clock, had a few people on, tried this at noon a couple of days last week and this week. And YouTube sent me a message, said, hey, if you're going to start doing these live streams, your peoples are on at 5 o'clock. And I was like, well, I really like doing it at 12 because it's during the workday, and same with 3. And this 5 o'clock thing is, I got to walk my dog at 5 o'clock. I already heard him barking. He's already mad at me. So, but we're going to try this because I know you guys our clients are working. And so maybe you're home, you can catch these. If not, watch on the replay. If you can't be live, send me an email, use the contact button on our website, send me your question. I'll probably email you back the answer anyways. I usually do. But then what I'm doing is adding those questions to my Q&A as if you're asking it live. So we'll answer it live. You have a live question, you can use the comments, use the chats. If you're watching this video on the replay, go ahead and comment and I will answer it on the next show, and as well as all the other questions that came in during the week. So I think the next one will be tomorrow. I think I have like 12 Q&As that came in over the last couple of days, including the end of last week, that we'll go over, and it will be very helpful. And then if you're on here, let people know, hey, the court self-help centers, you can't get in for months. They're doing things in group classes, I guess kind of like what I'm saying here, but they're not answering your specific question. They're just going over the form step by step. And if you got lost or, fell behind, too bad. You can reschedule your Zoom call, but they're not answering specific questions to you. And that's what I can help you with. Hey, Tim, we have this car and how do we divide it? And, things like that. I've been doing this for 10 years, thousands of cases. That's my forte. I work for the courts, handle the judgments. Abuse me. I'm hoping in helping you, I can get this content out here. I'd love to get a bunch of people on these calls asking questions, but if not, I will be on here answering the questions people asked previously.